Roger that. Said out. Embrace the suck.
Wait, did he just say embrace the suck? Hey guys, Ninja Guy VR here, and today we're doing a review of Zero Caliber 2 on MetaQuest. This code was gifted by the developers of the game. For those who don't know me, I'm actually a sucker for Call of Duty. I've been playing the series every Saturday night with my significant other for more than 11 years now. It's our little ritual, so when I've learned that Zero Caliber was a series focusing on the fun aspects of it, I was definitely excited to give it a try. So we'll be looking at every aspect of the game today and make sure that you're well informed on the subject. Let's check it out. Zero Caliber 2 came out on August 1st, 2024 and is available for $14.99 Canadian. I'll put a link of the store page in my description below. The game is supported on MetaQuest 2, Pro, and 3. The game has been developed by XREAL Games and they are well known for their first release of Zero Caliber and Gambit. I've played Zero Caliber 2 while I was on patch 1, but patch 2 has already been out, which has fixed some of the issues that I wanted to talk about today. So we'll also be going through some of the things that improved on the latest patch. Alright, so what is Zero Caliber 2? Well, at its core, it's a first-person shooter with a modern war story that focuses on both a single-player campaign and multiplayer. Most of my time spent on the game was in single-player. I've played the campaign on veteran difficulty, which is the hardest mode, so you'll notice that I'm very careful in most of my gameplay clips. The game doesn't focus too much on the story, and it's totally fine if you ignore it, because honestly, it didn't bring much value to it. But that's okay because in these types of game, you're mostly focused on the action. From what I understood, there's a corrupted leader who's trying to take over something, and you're trying to stop him. That's pretty much all you need to know. The campaign is divided into 12 chapters, and the variety is pretty good. You'll go from trying to get to an hospital bomb in the middle of the city to climb mountains and snipe your way through the level. Some of these levels are hit or miss, which makes me wonder if the designs of each chapters were made by different people from the development team. I'll talk about this a little later in the review. A nice thing about these chapters is that there are checkpoints, and even if you leave the game and come back the other day, you can still resume the game from your last checkpoint. Gameplay wise, I personally find that they've nailed the Call of Duty gameplay. The guns were responsive, very easy to reload, the aiming with the scope was precise, and finding a laser for your gun was always a relief because it made my aiming reflex a lot quicker, especially in close to mid-combat. I love all options that they give. There was a scope that I really liked, because you had one that you could zoom in, but then on top of it, there was another scope with no zoom, so it made it perfect for certain situations. You also get other types of attachments, like a grip and a stock for better stability. When you start the game, you get defaulted to a bare bone weapon, but as you finish chapters, you level up your rank, which unlocks new weapons and attachments that you can purchase for either your single player or multiplayer games. So at the end of the campaign, I had a gun that suited the best for me. There are no better weapons though, it all depends on your playstyle. I'm not sure about other difficulties, but the balance of veteran really felt similar to the typical Call of Duty campaigns that I played. And I like that. I have to take cover a lot more often to heal up, since you can only take around 3 hits before it's game over and you get teleported back to the last checkpoint. It makes it very tense during battles. You can also do the whole campaign in co-op. I really like how they handled that. I can basically publicly host a chapter, and anyone can simply come in and out whenever they feel like it. And it's easy for them to join, because there's also a quick play button that you can use to get matched with a random person that's hosting. The game is pretty popular at the moment, since every single time I played online, there were always people joining, and I haven't encountered a single person twice. I love the seamless experience. You can have a total of 4 players. My only complaint about co-op is that I wish that the difficulty would be adjusted accordingly, because the veteran difficulty felt very casual when I was going through it with 3 other players, but it was still fun talking to people and strategizing a little. Something nice about the single player campaign is that there are some replayability. When you finish the difficulty, there's a bullet that is stamped on the chapter so you know what you finished on which difficulty. You can also find different types of weapon skin that unlocks as soon as you grab the weapon. Most of them are really cool looking. It'd be nice if eventually they add more weapon skin packs. In some parts of the game, you get accompanied by AIs, and it's pretty much what you can expect. They don't do much, maybe kill an enemy once in a while, but it's usually them that gets killed first. Most of the time, they respawn indefinitely from the same location. I do appreciate them though, it makes the game more alive during big combat sections. Okay, let's talk about multiplayer. When I played it, it was kind of hit or miss. I sometimes would go in a team deathmatch session where someone would shoot a grenade launcher constantly and was so annoying. Thankfully this has been patched recently, so this shouldn't happen anymore. Outside of that, it was quite fun. I managed to transfer my flat screen first person shooter skills in VR for the first time and ended up pretty high in the scoreboard most of the time. This is right up my alley. I've played Veil and Contractors Showdown in the past, and sometimes it felt like I was grabbing a controller for the first time. So far I've tried 2 modes, Team Deathmatch and Gun Game. I like both modes very much. In Gun Game, you basically get a new weapon every time you kill someone. The only annoying part personally is that there's a section where you can only get shotguns for about 10 kills. I wish that the weapons were a little bit more randomized. I do really good with automatics, but this shotgun section is always a drag for me. Gun Game is open mic, so we can all talk to each other. Honestly, everyone was pretty nice during the online sessions. I'd kill someone and they'd say, "Dang it, ninja guy again!" and we'd all laugh. You know, just a great online experience that I hope to have. Back to single player. My least favorite levels are actually some of the first ones, Richwood's Fall and Richwood's Shock. So for those who are just starting the game, don't worry, it does get better. Here's what I don't like about the Richwood maps. The key word is repetition. While you get from point A to point B, you get an objective to clear a house so many times, it definitely starts dragging. On top of that, you just keep hearing the same phrase over and over, purpose and order is the next stage of evolution. I get that it's meant for us to understand that the leader is brainwashing his army, but I don't know, just put it repetitively in one house and move on, you know? They were really in love with that phrase since you still hear it in other missions once in a while. In these 2 maps, there are also kind of open sections where you have to defeat all enemies. I'm not sure about other difficulties, but in Veteran, it just drags a lot. Enemies keep spawning over and over and they just keep using the same hiding spots. So in these parts, I just hide, shoot all the 4 known spots, hide again, rinse and repeat for like 15 minutes. Something to keep in mind though is that patch 2 may have fixed this issue. I've read that enemies should move more often now, and there should be a couple more enemies spawning in these types of sections which will make it more challenging. So I'm intrigued to see if these sections are more fun now. Guys, thank you so much for sticking for the whole review. I feel like I have a nice overview of the game here and it should definitely give you a good idea on making a decision to purchase the game or not. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe as I'm so close to passing the 1000 sub mark, and leave a comment if you'd be interested in playing the game with me since I'd definitely love to get back in it. But most of all, don't forget to embrace the suck!